At Harrison, they had a focus on Americanized Chinese food, hence the fortune cookies. Although, I recall this being the first time I saw this Honey Nut Cheerios treat within the dessert section. It's pretty unorthodox. That thing to be dipping in milk. I didn't get the any General Tso's chicken or cauliflower because I wasn't feeling that hungry as I got a big lunch. If I recall, today was the day that I completed enough missions, enough of the tasks this character gave me. I gained the 5 relics via, they were crystal relics because it was due to me taking part in a tournament. Which is when you fight, I think, curated battles with random squad sizes that depends on the level of the battle you're doing, depending on where you are within the tournament. And as such, this was if you're able to win these battles, you can pick your own units out of what you happen to have, which for me is these units. I train these at the barracks, this at the training grounds, and these 2 units I get from buildings. I could build. Right now I'm in the process of researching the sorceress so that I can get the mysterious cyclone research upgrade in order to get this city expansion research upgrade. Although it will require some elixirs. So perhaps maybe I should. Perhaps maybe I happen to have elixirs. It happens to be my 3rd boosted resource. This is the traveling merchant building, which produces silk and crystals. And that brings me on the verge of receiving either 8-hour time boosters or 35 knowledge points. I'm hoping to get the knowledge points on this. I have a lot of spell fragments because they're easy to get within successful Spire encounters, but it's not easy to get the combining catalyst from the Spire encounters. That's something I can agree on. After my Spanish class today, in which the general rule is to participate once for each exercise, or at least that's my general rule, because it's I currently have an 8 out of 10 in participation, and I'm hoping to get that up to 10 out of 10 in participation in order to boost up my Spanish grade, because it's currently my lowest class. I had a C plus last time I checked. And thanks to the grade I got on the midterm, I was able to boost up my politics of geography grade to a minus. I was expecting today in Spanish there would be a quiz for chapter 11, but there wasn't. I think something came up or something along those lines. So it's going to be on Thursday. Which gives me some time to study. Different uses for por and para, which both supposed to be the equivalent of the English word for, but they're not interchangeable. I currently have no idea when the next new moon is. The bell fountain. You're supposed to combine these pieces together to create something pretty elaborate and pretty powerful. But the thing is, I only have half the pieces so far. And I don't think I have enough combining catalysts to make the rest. What I'm likely to do in regards to when I get the next city expansion, it's either build the elixir manufactory or build the Tome of Secrets Natural Wonder, with me probably leaning towards the latter, most likely. Following my Spanish class, I got a pretty big lunch at Harrison. The prospect of getting beef bourguignon excited me quite a bit for some reason. Maybe because it felt similar to beef stroganoff to me. And I also got yogurt, though I got the strawberry banana flavor rather than the blueberry flavor that was exclusive at dinner tonight. But at least there was yogurt tonight. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to build one of each ancient wonder that you ultimately meet the requirements for. And I think I do meet the requirements, or I'm at least close to doing so. In 40 minutes, they're going to have a new daily exclusive. I generally only go for it if it's a new building, even though it's pretty unlikely I'm going to build any of those new cultural buildings unless it can provide some unique benefit to me. This was the lid to the leftover chicken and mac from the Saucy Chef that I had some of in the early morning while I was studying the vocab for chapter 11, and then near the end, the conjugations for AR, ER, and IR verbs for the present, preterite, and perfect tenses. I'm not sure if Grammarly is used to writing a paper in Spanish, but this is for an extra credit opportunity that I was given. I asked about it, and I need to have it in by before midnight tonight. It has to be in Spanish, so it's going to be a lot of looking up terms and word reference for me. Most likely what I'm going to do is somewhat briefly talk about how the presentation seems to be about how immigrants to the United States were exposed to the English language because English is the primary language within the United States, meaning as in primary, it's English has the greatest number of speakers within the United States, with Spanish being a somewhat distant second. And I could probably also talk about how I ultimately chose to start learning Spanish because becoming bilingual can unlock opportunities for you. Which may also be the reason why immigrants to the United States decided to learn English, because for me, the English language is something that just comes naturally to me because I was born in the United States, so I was born in an environment where I was exposed to the English language from my early childhood. I'm pretty sure that for the Hispanic immigrants that came from Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Mexico, coming to the United States in search of economic opportunity, they were exposed to the Spanish language during their early childhoods, and so the Spanish language comes naturally to them. Me trying to learn the Spanish language as an adult, it doesn't come quite so naturally to me, but I'm pretty sure at some point even the English language didn't come naturally to me. It's a big component of what it's like to learn something. At first, it's difficult, but then like magic, just like how I was able to learn the Chapter 11 vocab, you figure out how to make it stick so that you can recall it within your mind. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. I ended up falling asleep after listening to the Crisis of Credit video 4 times in a row while laying down on this bare mattress. This was something new I saw at Harrison. I said that I would try it, but I asked for not that much, just in case I ended up not liking it. Well, it's okay. I don't really think I want to repeat that experiment. I think I prefer the whole wheat rice. So I fell asleep around, I think, maybe 2:30ish. After finishing that big lunch I got at Harrison. I also got this meal from Harrison. And right before I got the lunch from Harrison, I made a stop at the Nest to do I went to the Nest to do a walk-up order to get some more of these Game Fuel drinks. I asked for 2 of these and got them. But I also asked for 2 tropical ones, which I think are supposed to be the yellow ones, but I ended up getting 2 red or cherry ones. But that was fine by me. Although, to open these, I used this sort of part of these pens to open them. No, I should probably do that far away from this laptop. I'm pretty sure these lids are an attempt to make it so that you can make it so that it's an attempt at anti-spill technology. Which is definitely a positive in my book, since I once destroyed a laptop by spilling a drink on it. All the way back then, it was an energy drink. I believe it was a Rockstar cotton candy extreme. One of those beverages with 300 milligrams of caffeine. As I went off to get my dinner, following today's online session of my criminal law class, in which we essentially went over discussion questions, in which I answered number 5 regarding the felony murder rule. in which I gave arguments for the practice and against the practice. And I said that they shouldn't be intentional homicides because, while the commission of the felony was intentional, the murder itself was not. It may be a fair warning to those planning to commit those felonies listed under the felony murder rule. And there may be an intention of there being a deterrent effect to those felonies, but it's a violation of a principle of criminal law regarding culpability. As my professor said when I said it was a violation of something that had to do with mens rea. Basically, you're treating something that was unintentional as something that was intentional. And there was a Halloween costume contest. I had an opportunity to vote in it. And I ultimately picked what I thought was most creative, which was the Quarantine 2020 costume, in which basically someone dressed as a healthcare worker, if I recall. Excuse me. I wrote down the name of the costume I was voting for, a little slip of blank paper using a blue pen, and then I put the vote into a brown paper bag.